question now, why now we have to manage resources? I think we don't just manage resources for the sake of managing it. It is for our benefit. Imi other white man when what like MKK and everything or ran go supermarket here. Imi lo Solomon Islands ini lo mi fala lo lauru. Time fala like MKK mi fala ran go lo sea and fala ran go lo land. In fact, emi supermarket lo mi fala too. So I think it makes a lot of sense that mi fala look up some other resources here.
One fella big man lo Choiseul Province. In fact, Hemi long-serving provincial premier inside Long Country, Hemi served for more than 10 years. Me catch up with them Hemlo second day blow National Environmental Symposium where Hemi happened lo this man is lo Honiara. Symposium ya Hemi a series of meetings ya where take him come up with experts, people where survey look at things where got to start him and lo this one Hemi side lo environment or the things where start lo environment, flora and fauna lo country, that is animal and plant species inside the country. And people or communities lo country where waka lo come up in good environments blue you me. Lo this episode baba you me herem story blow Jackson Kiloe. Lo why now community involvement hemi important lo side lo environmental conservation. And what now some fella lo at the challenges province play him is facing. Hello and welcome.
You're listening to The Environment Show.
Late Dr. John Rowan, founder of One Falala Okata first local NGOs, Hemi One style him that Solomon Islands, Hemi One Fala country of villages. Villages now, it make him a country, you mean Solomon Islands. Premier Jackson Kiloe, Hemi Karam same kind talk too.
Thank you so much. I think before we go on, me just like make an open statement or same number. This country is a nation of communities. Anything to do with him Solomon Islands, if you have to address him through local communities, then by effective. So yes, local conservation and resource management, and very important for him engage him now communities and let them communities themselves who are the resource owners for take a leading role in managing their resources. Imilo province and long government and maybe NGOs I support them with them resources, maybe long ordinances and maybe technical know-how or to how to manage them resources and blogata. So how or what we follow doing long provincial government, me falangare mo follow partnership with them Laurel Conference of Tribal Communities where me follow try because na resource owners, all tribes of Choiseul or the members to this Laurel Conference of Tribal Communities or the chiefs, everyone member of him and not him got him command him very big respect from what people long Choiseul. So I'm making a lot of sense because we are dealing with resources where stop long land lo people, even lo sea or lo land, or the chiefs na kas got him power over. So we will have to work with them. So we will provincial government sign him one for MOU with them Laurel Conference for Ogata now take him leading role long conservation long province Blomifala. Then TNC come into the scene long 2003, sign him MOU with them government and Laurel Conference too. So Ogata provide them resources, even manpower for carry out resource management low virus communities Blomifala. So with that as a result, Mifala produce him now the first ever registry plan along Solomon Islands when we call them Choiseul Province registry for 2009. This will register it. Me believe that whatever you do, every registry plan because whatever you do along our land, by affecting what low seashore and low reefs too. So you have to do conservation holistically. You have to approach him from the land and also catch him low sea too. As a result of that, me now more than 20 marine conservation areas as well as more than 10 terrestrial conservation areas by various communities. Also level 2 or the communities here got them their own committees, management committees, where Agatana look after Ogata respective committee resource management areas in Blokata.
How Okata forefathers Bluyumi, Okata great grannies Bluyumi look out him resources, but by him a little bit different lo how you may look out him this time. Also you may save population hemi kama big fella. and how for you may look out him for cater for growing population. Hemi provide big fella issue to ya, and with him okata resources you may put him $sign no him. Hemi something okata resource owners and communities and government or provincial level and okata people also Jackson Kiloe if face him all time. Time you say manage him resources holistically, you have a little bit explain him that one more.
Yes, in managing resources, the question now, why now we have to manage resources? I think we don't just manage resources for the sake of managing it. It is for our benefit. Or what man, when what like MKK and everything, or the Rangolo supermarket here. Lo Solomon Islands ini lo mi fala lo lauru, time fala like MKK, mi fala Rangolo sea, and fala Rangolo land. In fact, emi supermarket belum mi fala too. So I think it makes a lot of sense that mi fala look up some other resources here, because em na continue for provide them life for mi fala yes. Mi fala no Rangolo shops, mi fala no MKK, mi fala go look at them fish lo sea, and also go look at them MKK long garden or even lo bush. But now imi entalo economy blo imi longo global economy imi have to look at them selling too. So those prices now imi give him come rise the need for managing water resources because there are now impacts in logging come over harvesting of fisheries resources come because imi need him selling for paying school fee for doing other things. Yeah, so important too imi need for managing so that or something non deplete so that imi shall use him now and even not future blow imi too.
Low country blame resources also land especially okata people now own them. And that one hemi one for the big challenges Jackson Kiloe if face in Low province play.
Yes, the huge challenge is that imi long government, me follow long government, being in a provincial government, I'm trying to put a regulation or law or something that I don't actually own. Yeah, I'm owned by the people. Or the resource owners not own them, so I don't have all power for controlling what is actually theirs. So because I'm blokata, all the power to do what they want to do with their resources. And the frustrating part now because of lack of resources in the province for effectively carry out all the conservation plans in him. Sometimes all the people bloom follow home or look at opportunities for making money too. So that's why all the invite them come a lot of logging companies. Now we follow here interest along mining too come in and because them block people so because the power and the law invested upon long national government and with them all the customary owners very little power no more left low provincial governments. In fact, many provinces are being asked to continue to facilitate some of these destructive activities. Example, timber rights. We don't choose to hold timber rights. We have to do it under the current law. No? So even though we know it might be bad for our people and it may be bad for the environment and also social impact for communities, we continue to facilitate them because that's what the law allows us to do. So the frustration for me is that even though I know what is bad for my people, I continue to facilitate it as required by the current laws. So me call for a review of the Forest and Timber Legislation Act and we must give him a little bit power of provinces to say no.
And you've been premier for more than 10 years now. How na luluk you law side law overall conservation inside law province? Is there something that can be done more?
Yes, there's always room for improvement. Me feel thankful since 2003 when TNC came into the scene and signed an MOU with the provincial government and the Larula Conference of Tribal Communities. We've seen a growing number of interest along conservation both along marine and also terrestrial. There are other bodies that come into the scene through that partnership as well. We have NRDF, Live and Learn and others where they come into the boat for helping people for conserving both areas, both whether either land or long sea. And there's a need to do more. But the thing is this, without us offering them alternative source of income, by still a challenge of people because they will need money for paying school fee, they will need money for doing other things too. So if we have to be effective law conservation, we may have to offer them these people some alternative source of income where they can gain income so that they meet other needs without spoiling now the resources in conservation areas in Blokata.
Me to follow story yet, but next session of program Hemi called start now. And since Premier Hemi sit down the panelist, me ask him what now any last talk Hemi like tell him the people blah him side lo conservation.
There's a lot that I could say, but I'd like to thank him so much for taking the leading role in conserving water resources blogata, whether emlo land or sea. As I know that there will be challenges, and it's fairly on my part and on our part as governments for me for no development, but so much that others have earning money come other ways rather than spoil them water resources block or the respective communities and land blogata. But I like to encourage them to keep on look after water resources blogata. In fact, it's not me na I think we've been commanded long book Genesis yet we have to be good custodians of resources because water resources here. I'm not only blow Yumi. Those resources belong to people where Otan dying go finish and belong lo Yumi where Emi life this time. And it belongs to people where Otan stop come below ahead of us where Otan no born come yet. So it is our duty on those of us Emi life now for look up them because that's a huge responsibility on our part. We are stewards. Emi no blow Yumi 11 blow everybody else. So I think I call upon all my people. Yes, use him other resources where Emi under long power blow you, but use him wisely so that Yumi everyone now and in the future, but I benefit lo him.
Premier Choiseul Province Jackson Kiloe.